Welcome back to this week's edition of Modern Tech and Transformation. We have again with us Sunil Samuel, Director of Strategic Partnerships. Welcome back, Sunil.
Thank you, Carla. Good to be here.
And one thing we want to touch upon, you've heard us talk about SAP, that we have deep expertise in that, but being a partner to these technology providers is very important. And Sunil, being Director of Strategic Partnerships, he plays a really critical role. So let's dive into what it means to be a partner to someone like an SAP or another technology company.
So, Carla, becoming a partner is a critical step from a technology standpoint for firms like us because it enhances the firm's offerings and value proposition. So I kind of break it down into a few different points. One would be access to the cutting edge technologies, right? So RTS has early access to those innovative SAP related tools and platforms. So that would be number one. Then from a credibility standpoint, it helps us boost that trust and that credibility in the marketplace. So RTS, the partnership basically helps us get our reputation out there, giving customers the confidence or the clients the confidence in certified expertise that we have. Then the third one would be, I would say, comprehensive training and support. The amount of materials that you have in there, just going through the portal, maybe from a sales standpoint or from a technical standpoint, a platform expertise standpoint, there's quite a lot of materials over there that a partner will have visibility to, access to. Then opportunities for co-innovation. So one of our digital DocuSign accelerator that Vaibhav and his team has been putting together, basically it's a co-innovation environment, right? So therefore, we're able to work closely with SAP in trying to get those things accomplished. And then reduced implementation risk. Say, for example, we're moving workloads from on-prem into the cloud, come across challenges, etc. So what happens is with this partnership, now you get the technical support that is needed to mitigate those risks, ensuring a smoother and more reliable deployment for our clients. Then from an expanded business opportunity standpoint, networking, right, within SAP's ecosystem. So your team comes into play in a big way when it comes to going to these conferences, building those relationships. And so that joint marketing efforts and partnerships lead to generating more opportunities.
Here at RTS, we have several certified individuals in SAP. Walk us through the certification process, because I know it's not easy. So that means being a certified partner is even more of an esteemed thing.
Yes. So I would say there are several steps to getting the partnership in place. So obviously selecting the partner tier is important. So you have your basic, your partner edge silver, and then there's gold partnership. But to achieve these levels, there's strict guidelines that we have to follow, right? So of course, choosing the appropriate SAP partnership, as I said about silver, gold, etc. Then application and registration. So apply through the Partner Edge portal with SAP reviewing the company's background and expertise. That's number two. Then of course, meeting the business requirements. So I can tell you, just going through putting together a business plan specifically focused on the industry focus, market presence, alignment with SAP strategic goals, and a solid business plan that has to be submitted. Once it's submitted, go through the approval process, then we're able to get to the next level, right? So then the other piece is the technical competency. So ensure certified consultants invest in continuous training. So that is critical to our success because we have to maintain these certifications. These are current certification that we need to maintain within the portal. So they keep an eye out for those, be it SAP HANA, cloud, public, private data analytics, financial accounting like FICO, implementation, consultant certifications, HANA DB, BTP, and the list goes on, right? So depending on which, so you have different competencies. Within these competencies, like for example, grow with SAP or rise with SAP or SAP BTP or spend management, we have to have all these consultants in these different buckets. Now, with that, you have your essential, you have your advanced, and you have your expert. So depending on how many certifications we get, not just technical consultants, we have to have platform experts, we have to have project managers who are disciplined in this space. So there's quite a lot of parameters associated with it. Then the other one would be quality assurance. Best practices. Are we following those best practices? Successful reference related to projects. That's where your team comes in. We get a project done, we leverage your team to put together a case study, the references, etc. So we have to demonstrate that delivery capability, be it lift and shift migration, be it blue field, green field, brown field type of implementation, be it MCD, managed cloud delivery, be it AMS, application managed services. In all of these, we need to showcase how we have done what we have done, right? Then partnership agreement, ongoing compliance. Sign the partnership agreement, meet the revenue target. So we have so technical piece, then there is a revenue target we gotta hit. The business plan has to be nice and airtight. So multiple lanes we have to address in order to get this partnership in place.
And I know we have a very strong partnership with SAP and SAP NS2. And as SAP NS2, they don't give many premier partner statuses out, and we have one of those, which is a testament to our
Absolutely.
dedication. And I believe we've done around 150 SAP projects.
Yes,
So
it is. We have a phenomenal team.
absolutely.
And thanks to the delivery team, without them, there's nothing.
I know.
We can talk all day, but bottom line is that there's a solid delivery team behind the scene.
Yeah, we've had Bimal and Anoop and Vinod all come and talk about our SAP practice, and it's always very interesting to hear from our leaders and subject matter experts in this arena.
Absolutely.
And now hearing about all the work that goes into even having this partnership, because they just see you're a partner, but I think a lot of enterprises don't really realize how much it entails. And just given the past 5 minutes, you talking about it, it's very robust.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And one other thing, I mean, this is often forgotten, but the marketing element is really important because, all the activities that we are doing behind the scene, it needs to be, people need to know.
Yes.
Without people knowing it, it goes to the wayside. So having marketing be that forefront in communicating that. So I love the fact that we're able to showcase that from a LinkedIn perspective, from these type of podcasts, and then having that presence at multiple events like the Sapphire, ASUG, and so on and so forth. So it's been a blessing to have marketing on our side.
Marketing loves bragging about all the good work that's done at Resolve Tech
Absolutely.
Solutions. So you don't have to worry about that. We're going to keep bragging about it.
Absolutely.
So, as we mentioned, very intricate process.
Mhm.
What are some challenges that companies face when they're trying to become a partner?
So I would say one thing that sits very high on my list is the technical competency requirements. So SAP requires certified consultants. So it's really important to invest early in the training program and leverage SAP resources to stay up to date. So thanks to our leadership, where we're putting the money up front to make sure that we get our folks certified. So that is through the hub license, right? So we've been issued X amount, we've spent some money in getting those hub licenses. Now it is up to us, leadership, to make sure that we have the right folks taking those certifications. So the way the hub license is built is where a consultant or a subject matter expert is able to attempt basically 4 attempts for the year. Now, if that person is able to pass 4 different sets of exams, that's amazing, right? But they do have four times that they can enter for that exam. So that is within a year. So just like that in the project management sector, in the sales sector, getting our sales team certified or credentials within the SAP ecosystem, I haven't seen any specific certifications for sales. It's more related to credentialing. So that means it's modules or CBT, computer-based training that you have. You go through it, you take an exam or a quiz per module, and then you have a final output, and then that's how you get your credentials. So then industry and market alignment is important. Companies must align with SAP focus areas. So they do audit us for the internal strength and emphasize the case studies. So this is where we have to submit those case studies into the portal. They review it, and all the projects that we have completed, we have to showcase all of that. And successful projects, that's an important piece. Right now, I'm going through that exercise for the last 2 years. All the successful implementation project, be it brownfield, greenfield, bluefield, all of those, we have to put that together, give all the details, we submit that, they go through the review process. Once it's reviewed, approved, then we get X amount of points, right? So the way they have, SAP has approached this is, you got roughly about 600 points that you can get to Gold Partnership. Out of that, 200 points is dedicated for net new certifications.
Okay.
400 points is basically for your implementation, all the projects that you have done. Now, you cannot go past 2 years because then it's too outdated, right? So net new certifications and those projects, those are important.
And that's a challenge because finding time from consultants who
Yep.
are billable, that can be very challenging to get them to talk to you about the projects because they do a successful one,
Yep.
then they're on to making another project
Yep.
a success.
Exactly. So this is where we have to work internally as a leadership in trying to pull these folks out, talk about it. So this, with your team, interviewing these consultants, right? That's, to me, that's a game changer because now you're able to glean additional data on how they did the project, et cetera. Now, adapting to best practices, I talked about that. SAP has certain best practices when it comes to implementation, when it comes to the way managed services is done, with the way application managed services is done. So we want to make sure that we follow those guidelines. So this partnership allows you're basically following certain standards, and they provide us internal training on SAP methodologies and experienced SAP professionals. Then, of course, ongoing compliance. Regularly maintain those certifications to meet the SAP performance standards, right? So we have to establish internally a compliance team to ensure that long-term adherence to those standards. So I would say those are some of the items that keeps me awake.
You're making it sound so easy. No, I'm just kidding. This is
But
very complex,
Thank you.
very involved. So appreciate all your hard work.
You're welcome.
So once everything's in place and certified, let's wrap up with what that really means, opportunities for growth and innovation, because there's a lot of companies out there that say they do things like SAP that might not be certified, but just given this 10, 15-minute conversation, I think it's next caliber if you really have those certifications and you are a true partner, regardless of what level, right? So once you're a partner, what doors does that open up? What do you have access to that
Absolutely.
non-partners would not?
I think that's an excellent question. So the way I would approach the first step would be access to SAP tools and resources, right? So exclusive access on the latest software, right? SAP software. So via the partner portal, we have that access, and the product roadmaps. Which direction is SAP going towards?
Yeah.
Before it was all on-prem. Now everything is in the cloud. So having that roadmap, so that way our team is able to prepare accordingly, right? So that's one. Ongoing training. So there's a continuous learning and certification programs to keep the consultants up to date. So this is where the Learning Hub licenses that I talked about comes into play. Then priority support. Technical assistance for expert consultation for complex matters, right? So somebody like Anup Sinha, who's got a huge delivery team, if they're in a bind and they want to get some assistance from SAP now with this partnership in place, that's an open door right there, right? Even if it is a day 2 support type of environment, if we need the support, we are able to get that. That's the priority support that comes into play. Now, with your team, the co-marketing opportunities, right? Joint marketing campaigns and access to SAP's customer base. So this co-marketing, there's dollars to be spent. As a partner at different levels, there's X dollars that's assigned by SAP. We have to take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
So this is where we have to come up with ideas in how we can co-market and go after the market, right? Then innovation and co-development. Opportunities for co-innovation. I talked about that earlier with Mr. Vaibhav Gupta and his team, where we have these DocuSign accelerators. And these are accelerators that we're building, but in conjunction with SAP team, right? Then, of course, market expansion. exposure through SAP's marketplace, and potential for larger, more complex projects. So here's the thing. So this marketplace, we start putting, say, let's take, for example, the Juno Labs, right? If there are any accelerators that we built specifically for the SAP environment, be it RPA, whatever the case may be, now we can push that into the SAP marketplace. Now, all of a sudden, we have visibility, or clients or potential clients are looking, prospects are looking through that portal to see, hey, who does what, right?
Yeah.
So that's how, another way of having that exposure. So I would say those are all the parameters that I would
It's
consider.
just very valuable and worth the time, and it's something that we invest heavily in at Resolve Tech Solutions. So I just see all the hard work Sunil's doing, and I said, let's talk to our audience about everything that goes on behind the scenes to truly be an awarded SAP partner. So thank you, Sunil, as always, for coming and chatting with us.
Thank you, and it takes you have the saying quite often about teamwork and dreamwork,
Yes.
right? So bottom line is this: we have a phenomenal team behind the scene. My job is to push them the best way possible to get the output that we're looking for, because executives have certain criteria that we have to meet, but the team behind the scene, there's quite a lot of folks that have helped us get this far. So thank you to RT's team.
Yeah.
And thank you for what you're doing.
Oh,
Appreciate it.
absolutely. Thank you for what you're doing. I don't envy you at all, but it's such an important role, and you really can get us across the finish line. So
Yep, thank
that's
you.
all we have today.
Thank
Thank you for being with us.
Appreciate
And to our audience, we will see you next week.
All right, thank you.